All right, it's time for the end of day PulseWave report with yours truly, the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave price trigger reports. All right, so as you know, tomorrow is Take Back Friday. What do you think the markets are going to do? Well, we're going to take a look at our weekly charts and see exactly what we are on track for doing. We have several charts that we're going to go over tonight. We have a total of 5, 10, 15, 20, 23 charts to be exact. So we're going to go over 23 charts and take a look at where we are and where we are possibly headed going into the weekend and what we can possibly expect out of the markets for next week. All right, so the first chart that we're going to look at, let me go ahead and pull this up for you so you can see it. And that is going to be gold futures. So if you take a look at the weekly chart on this one, you can see that we are still in the red zone and the market is so far still respecting the zone that was created last week. That is the trading range that has been established. And so far, the market is respecting it. There's a strong possibility that gold could push beyond the overhead resistance of 1800. If it does that, then it stands a chance to continue to run into next week and possibly get somewhere near the 1850 range. I believe that is very doable, very possible, but the market will probably hit a brick wall running into that 1800 going into next week. Now, unless something strange happens tomorrow, gold right now is positioning itself for a rally alert buy signal for next week. So we could start the week off next week in a rally. We'll see. We'll see. Tomorrow's close is going to be very important for all of these markets. Here is the euro yen, all right, which basically moves and tracks with the U.S. stock indexes and in some cases even leads it. Right now, it seems to be leading it to the downside, and it's already starting to crash below the trend line support and head toward the top of the Kumo cloud. So the euro yen is threatening to drop below 127. That's right, you heard me. 127 is in play now for the euro yen. Going into next week, we'll see if the thing continues to sell off overnight and tomorrow. But right now, this thing is looking like it wants to drop even further, ladies and gentlemen. Not looking good on the bullish perspective. Now, you're at a place where the bulls can come in and defend this trend line support like it did back here. We came through similar to this bar. We had this bar back here. We've seen this before on the trend line, only for the following week to rally and start a new trend. So that is possible. All right, it is possible. All right, so we'll see. We'll see if we get a situation like this where the market will stop and pop. All right, this is that area that the bulls are going to want to defend. If not, we could have a breakdown like we did back here. All right, and that would be pretty severe drop. So just something to think about going into next week. All right, let's take a look at nat gas. All right, here's your nat gas. So the downside production extended further this week. We came into the week with a crash alert sell signal right here. Here's the downside production. And all things being equal, we're looking for a continuation into next week. Still got some more downside to go. I think we can get down into maybe the 350 mark. But your first support is going to be around 350. And your trend line support is your initial target. So $3 is what the market is eyeing ultimately. Let's take a look at the banking sector. Here is Bank of America. So far, Bank of America is giving us a crash alert sell signal for next week. And if that is the case, then we can see extreme selling come in and pick up and get us down here to the trend line support around the $36 mark. All right, so that's an additional $4 that this market could pull back potentially going into next week. I think we're going to have to, pay attention to this, because if we end the week with this crash alert sell signal, the last crash alert sell signal gave us significant downside production, and the one prior to that one as well, and the one prior to that one. All right, so the last 3 crash alert sell signals did give us quality downside production. So we cannot ignore that going into next week. What about Facebook? Facebook has been all over the place, as you know, and right now it's holding steady. We can't ignore the bearish pointer right here that was given to us on the week of August the 6th. So far, we've managed to stay above that, but the bears are still in control of this market and keeping any intraday rallies muted at this point. So I see sideways movement. I think the market is respecting the range. This is the higher end of the range, which is this weekly bar here. Prices are staying within the established trading range. I thought we were going to get an extension back to this bar, but the market held and came back. So your price action is staying here. So depending on how we move tomorrow, possibility of more sideways to slightly lower prices next week are possible. What's going on in real estate? You've always talked about real estate. Well, let's take a look at the IYR. It's mostly commercial real estate, but in this particular ETF REIT, you got to look at what's going on. So we came into this week with a crash alert sell signal. We didn't get any downside production. The market's kind of moving sideways. So either the bulls are going to use this as an opportunity to get long and take the market to new highs going into next week, or the bears are going to pile on. Now, the last crash alert sell signal did offer some nice downside production, and it also created a bearish pointer right at the trend line support. All right, can't ignore that. All right, that is a significant bearish weekly pointer. All right, so we got to look at all of those factors and think about what it is that the markets may or may not do. So far, we don't have anything going on, but this last one did give us downside production. The one before that, we got a slight production and then a reversal. The one prior to that was a nice downside production. The one prior to that was a significant downside production. So it's touch and go at times, but so far, we've really not had a correction at all. I think a correction is coming. The last correction we got was way back here with this last crash alert. That was the last correction we got. Everything else has just been little pullbacks to trend line support. And now we've really moved far away from the trend line support. So I think that we have to take this one seriously. And depending on how the market settles tomorrow, will let us know we're coming down here to this support line of $95. So we will take a look and see what happens, see how this market moves tomorrow. All right, what about oil? Well, here is ticker OIH. This crude oil ETF follows the crude oil futures. It is in the red zone, and we are getting that new leg down. So we keep getting downside production on every week. Top of the Kumo cloud is in play. So I see this one dropping sub $150 a share. Continuation downside production. We are in a full corrective mode, just like we were back here. And I think this one is going to continue to give us downside production. Next up is bonds. Here's ticker TLT. As you can see here, the market did rally all the way up to the bottom of the Kumo cloud resistance point. This is going to be interesting because we're right here at the overhead resistance. The first overhead trendline resistance, the market was able to get above that. Now it has to break its way into the Kumo cloud. It could fail here, though, because the top and bottom of Kumo clouds offer very strong resistance and support zones. So this could be very interesting to see how much bounce this market has in it. It's been quite the rally, though, from almost $130 all the way up to $150. So you had roughly a $20 rally. That's pretty significant. We'll see if it can continue, but very interesting setup. Going back to the banking sector, let's look at Wells Fargo here. So far, you can see we do have a crash alert sell signal that the market is setting up for next week. And the trend line support around the $40 mark is the initial target on that setup. So we'll have to look and see what the market will be able to do. We cannot ignore the gap back here on this weekly chart. All right, way back here, this gap was created the week of February the 19th of this year. All right, so this market needs to pull back below $34 a share just to close this gap. So that will bring us not down to the trend line support, but way below it and get us down here, possibly getting us into this Kumo cloud. So you could have quite the significant drop, but the first profit target is at $40 a share. Then the next one's going to be below $34 a share. So something just to think about. Yep, I see you guys in the live chat. Yes, Canadian dollar is one of the ones we're going over tonight. I don't know if you heard the beginning or not, but I mentioned we're doing 23 charts tonight. So we are not even halfway yet, and we haven't done forex yet. So it's coming up. All right, so keep your eye on the banking sector, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the next one we got here is ADA Cardano, switching over to the crypto side. Now, this is a very interesting chart because look what the market did. Now, I've been showing you how the market's been trading into this zone. The week of May the 21st, 2021 was a significant week for the crypto market. It established a trading range for all the cryptos going forward. Most altcoins, the real big altcoins and Bitcoin, created a significant trading range bar on the week of May the 21st of 2021, wherein prices have stayed inside of that bar all summer. Okay, so the week of May 21st, we made a bar. If you look at Ethereum and Litecoin and the other big altcoins, the week of May 21st, 2021 created that trading range for the rest of the summer, and that's what prices have been doing. For the most part, prices were hovering down here at the low part of the range. Now the markets are testing the upper part of the range, okay? But you're still respecting the range. All right, it may look like, oh, look at this incredible rally, but really you're just trading inside of this range. That's it. That's all you're doing. You're not trending yet. You have an overall bullish complexion, bullish face, green zone, but you're not really trending. You are moving sideways. And remember, this is not a daily chart. This is a weekly chart. All right, so you were doing good. You were trending, and then here is where you hit that high, and then you just move sideways. So very interesting development. But all things being equal, if this market can continue this push, then it can move outside of this established trading range and expand the top side of the range. But you got to be careful. This is where I'm going to say you really need the PulseWave reports, because I got to point something out to you. I know you don't want to see it. I know you don't want to talk about it, but we have to talk about it. You ready? So far, we are making ourselves a whopper of a bearish pointer. So at some point this week may be the new bar, the new range, meaning that prices will trade within this bar, which means they're going to stay at the higher end of the range moving forward for a couple months, maybe even the rest of the year. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, 11 weeks, 12 weeks, this is week 13, was still in the range. All right, 13 weeks. So if you want to be really technical, we're talking about 3 months. For 3 months, ADA Cardano has been moving and respecting the range. All things being equal, if we close here inside of this range, then the next outcome will be, for the remainder of the year, we trade inside of this bar. Because we were down here at the bottom of the range for a while. Now we need to finish out the year up here. So very interesting developments. But one more water, I got to add some more water to the fire. This week here is also a bearish pointer, a whopper of one, the week of June the 25th, and of course the week of February the 26th. So the whatever rallying you see or strength, even if it finish off the year up here, at some point next year, you're going to come down and take this out. Then you're going to come down here and take this out. Then you're going to come over here and take this out. I'm just saying. I know. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I got to tell you what the algo charts are saying. Here's BNB. All right, so here's another one. Here's that bar that we've been talking about. May 21st, 2021. The week of May 21st, we created this trading range bar. This bar set up the weeks, and here you go. 11 weeks later, right? 3 months later, was still right inside of this bar. As a matter of fact, we're in the middle of this bar. Okay. All right. So we got to look at this. We got to look at this. All right. So this one is right in the middle. So it hasn't really gone anywhere at all. All right. Next up, we got the NASDAQ 100 futures. Okay, so we came into this week with this one with the crash alert sell signal. We got the downside production. All things being equal, trend line support down here around the 13,000 mark is the is where we're looking to go right now. We're at a support zone that we bounced off of, so the bulls could come in and try to defend this point. This would be a crossroads week. Just like back here, you had the crash alert sell signal. You had that week, right? And then it was like, okay, this is do or die. Are the bulls going to defend or the bears going to win? And that's when the bears came in and said, we're taking this one. Back here, we did it immediately. Then back here, you did it. You got your initial downside, then reverse, then here. So we are at a crossroads week. We'll see how the NASDAQ finishes tomorrow. All right, here is Ethereum. Here's your Ethereum. All right, so we got, again, May 21st, the week there, and we here the 11th week here. We're still trading right here inside of this bar. All things being equal, that's what we are, ladies and gentlemen. Can't make this stuff up. May 21st bar. Prices are respecting the bar. Here's May 21st. Here's Litecoin. Same thing. You've gone nowhere in 3 months. You've gone nowhere. What about THETA? Here's your THETA. So far of the THETA, it is moving higher, as you can see here. You got up to over $8, and then the week before we were in the $7 range, and the week before that we were in the $6, and then the week before that we were. So we've been creeping higher in the THETA. I think THETA is slowly coming up here to get to the bottom of the Kumo cloud, which is going to put it around $30. I think that's where this one's trying to lift off to. So very interesting with the THETA. XRP Ripple. All right. Here is your May 21st, 2021 week. And 11 weeks later, here you are. All right. So you've gone nowhere in 3 months. Here is your crude oil futures. Now, this one's different. This one, we've been getting that constant downside production. Trend line support at 60 is the target. So we still got $3 more to drop before you bounce off that trend line. And that's where the bulls will try to defend. But if not, bears are taking this thing down to 50. So very interesting setups. Here is silver now. All right, so silver is right here. We have the range bar for the week of August the 13th established. Prices are staying within it. So far, the market's trying to give us a rally alert buy signal for silver, but we'll see how this thing moves and closes tomorrow. But for right now, this is where we stand. I think the bears are going to use this week as a springboard to short, probably going into next week, and we could see some crashing and burning. So interesting crossroads for here. All right, next one is the Dow futures. So far, we're giving ourselves a crash alert sell signal for next week. Bearish pointer here, bearish pointer here. So this one's interesting. 32,000 is the trend line support target on a pullback, which could be a, that's a 2,000 point drop. All right, now here's the next one. Now we're in forex. This is the Australian dollar, and as you can see here, you're moving down. You're getting downside production almost every day here. And this thing is moving deeper and deeper into the Kumo cloud. You can see it has a long way to drop that it could drop and go. So far, the bears are just not letting up. All things being equal, we expect more selling in the next week. All right, here is the mighty Bitcoin. All right, this is the Bitcoin futures. Here's the May 21st weekly bar trading range established, and here's Bitcoin. It has gone nowhere in 3 months. We have been trading inside of this trading range bar that's been established the week of May 21st. You can't make this stuff up, folks. Seeing is believing. Here's your price action. Here we are. Now, all things being equal, until it breaks out of this range, it's still going to be in the range. You're just testing the higher end of the range because the whole summer you've been testing the bottom end of the range. I know people argue, but when you pull up the charts, it shuts all of that down. Nothing to talk about. All right, my man, Thomas, here's your Canadian dollar. Finally got to it. All right, so you're in the green zone, right? Bullish, bouncing off. Here's the technical bounce off the lows. Bulls are keeping this one up every week, getting that upside production. We tested and took out the bullish pointer just as I anticipated all week. I was telling you that's where the price action was going. And the target now is the bottom of the Kumo cloud. So that could get this thing into the 130 handle. All right, that's about 200 more pips top side that this can go. But just keep in mind now that you're here, this is that resistance, getting close to the resistance zone where the bearish may try to come in as early as tonight or tomorrow and try to start selling up here. All right, so this is where you need to just watch and be careful and make sure you're not getting your head chopped off. All right, next one is the dollar index. Also, if you are a PulseWaver, you know about the pop method, and you should be locking in profits and as the market moves in your favor. Last but not least, our final chart of the evening is the US dollar index. And as you can see here, this one is showing you that it's getting deeper into the Kumo cloud. It's like it's in the middle of the cloud now off of the technical lows back here. So all things being equal, the bulls are keeping this one going. And I think it's going to come up here and try to test the topper end of the range. So we should be getting into the 95 handle within the next few weeks or so. And that should keep pressure on commodity prices like gold, silver, soybeans. It should keep those prices low. And it'll be hard for gold and silver to continue to rally in the face of that unless gold and silver starts to act more like a currency instead of a commodity. Then that's the only way that it will buck that trend. And that way you can see the US dollar continue to rise, and then the precious metals will rise with it. So that's the problem. That's the caveat when you're talking and dealing with precious metals. Precious metals are commodities, but they're also currencies. All right. Gold and silver is money. All right. Now we got digital money that's coming now. You got the crypto space. So you got the digital money competing with the traditional money, and it's very interesting. Who's going to win? You got the dollar, you got the crypto, and you got the precious metals. The three amigos battling for supremacy. Who will win? It has been an exciting time to live in, that's for sure. Lord willing, I will be bringing back the morning show where we talk about all things relating to the global economy and markets and just things in general. That's, for those that don't know, that's where I cover a myriad of topics, not just the charts, but all types of things, anything that may affect or deal with the markets, and just anything in general. Whatever I feel is important that needs to be talked about, we talk about. All right, so Lord willing, I'll be bringing that back soon, and we'll see what's up. You know, I've just been in this lab for so long, working on some things, and hopefully I'll be able to bring that beat back. With that being said, though, I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. And remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And I am out. Peace.